Hey everybody, I'm Binkle Monkey, and you know that feeling of wanting something that technology hasn't made yet? Flying cars, hoverboards, the real kind, not the stupid exploding kind. Or even a printer that just works. We've all been there, but some things just aren't possible yet due to our current technological limitations. But don't lose hope. For today, I wish to share with you a story of a man living to see his dream come true. That man was Shigeru Miyamoto.
Hello!
Miyamoto is sort of a god-tier icon when it comes to video games, but if you haven't heard of him, he's the creator of Mario, The Legend of Zelda, Star Fox, and has had his hand in many other legendary franchises. And if you know anything about these games, you know he's quite the imaginative fella. He made time travel to stop a scary moon falling out of the sky work, animals flying spaceships work, and he made Italian plumbers fighting turtle monsters for the sake of mushroom people work. But Miyamoto wanted to push the last one even further into the weird. After working on the first Super Mario Bros. Game, Miyamoto had a picture of Mario riding a dinosaur-looking creature hanging by his desk. There wasn't a real design or theme-related issue with adding a rideable dinosaur into the Mushroom Kingdom. I mean, at this point, we should all accept that any random shit can happen in the Mushroom Kingdom. But there was a technological limitation with the Nintendo Entertainment System's hardware. Sure, Mario could climb on something and ride it. Super Mario Bros. 2 proved that. But to make that rideable creature its own character, a true companion for Mario through the game, was asking too much of the old console. So the idea just hung around at Miyamoto's desk, watching, waiting, commiserating, until the Super Nintendo Entertainment System was announced. In 1987, other video game companies were starting to release new 16-bit consoles, leaving the 8-bit NES looking and sounding a little rough by comparison. Seeing the writing on the wall, Nintendo started to work on a new console to keep up. And you bet your sweet Bippy a Mario game was expected to push those sales. So Miyamoto got the old band back together to make what would become Super Mario World, thus ending any semblance of a numbering scheme for these games. The new enhanced hardware of the Super Nintendo allowed for major graphical improvements from the NES, and with that, the ability to finally add Mario's best buddy and trusty steed, Yoshi, into the game, thus proving dreams do come true. You're welcome. As for the game itself, it too was like a dream come true. It sold over 20 million copies worldwide, received overwhelmingly positive reviews, and won the 1991 Game of the Year awards from both Nintendo Power and Power Play. And apparently Nintendo can just give that award to itself. That's pretty neat. Quoting straight from the Wikipedia page here, many retrospective critics declared Super Mario World one of the greatest video games of all time. So yeah, this game is kind of a big deal. It came bundled with my Super Nintendo as a kid, and I played the hell out of it. And recognizing I have an extreme nostalgia-goggled bias, I decided I should bring someone else in to help give Super Mario World the critical eye it deserves. As I began to scour the earth to find someone who I could trust with such a task, and who had never played Super Mario World, I got as far as my living room. My partner Geesneys has never played Super Mario World, and I thought it was high time I shared it with her. She's joining us today to give her thoughts as a first-time player, so let's hop right into the plot. After saving the Mushroom World in Super Mario Bros. 3, Mario, Luigi, and Princess Toadstool go on a vacation to Dinosaur Land, a prehistoric-themed world filled with dinosaurs. So they're basically going to Jurassic Park. Fun fact, the book and the game both came out in 1990.
Must go faster.
Anyway, the princess gets kidnapped by Bowser and you do the Mario stuff. But this time in Dinosaur World. Along the way, Mario and Luigi find Yoshi trapped in an egg. He says that Bowser trapped all his Yoshi friends in eggs and they're being held captive by the Koopalings. So Yoshi joins up with the brothers and they all set off to adventure. I'd also like to point out just how bad of a job Yoshi did on his solo attempt to save his friends. You start the game at Yoshi's house, only to find him one level over. Like, that went real bad for you, didn't it, Yoshi? But the first thing you'll notice upon arriving in Dinosaur Land is just how colorful it is. The Super Nintendo allowed for so many more colors to be on the screen at once, and they made sure to take advantage of that here. Every part of the map has a distinct feel that gives it its own unique vibe. Be it the welcoming openness of Yoshi's Island and Donut Plains, the rugged Vanilla Dome, the lush Forest of Illusion, or the brown part that's Chocolate Island. Or Cheese Bridge. Everybody loves cheese. Old familiar baddies have a new cartoony coat of paint. I mean, look at this rotund little Goomba walking around. He's adorable. And we get introduced to so many new Mario franchise staples. This is also the introduction of the Charge and Chuck line? Family? Variety pack? I don't know, Chuck's a weird dude. Who wears their football gear to throw baseballs or dig up rocks in a cave? Chuck does. That's who. Along with all this Mario-esque whimsy comes an excellent variety of challenges specific to each level. There's your standard ground levels, your water levels, and some auto-scrollers thrown in there. But there's something about the way these levels are executed that feels so fresh and different compared to the NES Mario games. And I think that's because of the giant pile of new stuff that they've plopped on top of all the best parts of the old Mario games. I don't even know where to start. Sure, why not? The Mushroom, Fire Flower, and Starman are back from previous games, but all the new power-ups introduced in Super Mario Bros. 3 were left behind. Instead we get the simplicity of two new power-ups, Yoshi and the Cape. It's weird to think of Yoshi as a power-up, but he does come out of a box, give you new abilities, and is well known for his, disposability.
Come on! Yoshi. Fight against the sadness! Yoshi.
But when you're not throwing him off of cliffs, he's an all-terrain vehicle of a power-up. First, that tongue is lethal to a lot of baddies, not to mention his crushing stomp attack. And if he eats enough fruit throughout certain levels, he poots out an egg that hatches a cloud that poots out cookies. At least I think it's a cookie. He can also hold a Koopa shell in his mouth to gain a special power. The green shells don't do anything, but red ones let Yoshi shoot a volley of fireballs, yellow ones let him stomp the yard, and blue ones make him sprout wings and fly. There's also a disco ball shell every once in a while that lets you do all three at the same time. And that's just your standard green Yoshi. If you find a red, yellow, or blue Yoshi, any shell will have the correlating effect to the Yoshi's color. I really wish there was a disco ball Yoshi though. Third, he can take a hit for you. If you run into a baddie while riding Yoshi, you just get dismounted from him. But he does take off running, and if you're not fast enough, he can and will fall down a hole. And his greatest power of all is adding some sweet bongo drums to Koji Kondo's score whenever you're riding him. The music was already amazingly upbeat and lighthearted, but the Yoshi beat just takes it to the next level. The Cape is a more traditional new power-up. It's basically an amped up version of the Leaf/Raccoon powers from Super Mario Bros. 3. When you get up to full speed, you take off into the air for a short amount of time. But now you can continue your airtime with well-timed gliding dips. You can also let yourself dive bomb the ground, which makes a really satisfying thump when you hit the ground. This really opens up Mario's mobility options, especially when you pair Yoshi and the Cape together, just like on the box art. You know, I don't think I've been hyped about the Fire Flower since, well, Mario 1 and the Lost Levels? But it certainly has its uses here, like burning baddies into coins on contact. It's just kind of boring compared to flying or dinosaurs. And Super Mario World is very giving with these power-ups, allowing you to store an extra mushroom, fire flower, or feather in the box at the top of the screen. They've also added a new type of jump for the old Jumpman, the spin jump. The spin jump lets Mario bounce on enemies that would normally hurt Mario if he jumped on them, as well as smash Koopas and their shells in one jump instead of knocking the tank top and underwear-wearing turtle out of his shell. And if you're Big Mario, you can also break basic yellow blocks. So Mario is pretty hardcore parkour in this game, and the level design really takes that into consideration. Each level has its own gimmick or puzzle for you to solve as you go through it. Some are simple like, this is the giant Bullet Bill level, or this is the lava raft level. The game does a really great job of teaching you about the gimmicks in a relatively safe environment first before it starts adding in more variables. And nothing overstays its welcome. Okay, some levels and gimmicks can drag a bit. Usually the auto-scrollers land in this category. But for the most part, the game recognizes when a player has had enough of any one gimmick. Other levels have hidden exits you have to find by using your powers of observation and wits. You see, many levels in Super Mario World have multiple ways to beat them. Any level that has a red dot representing it has a special secret for you to find. These vary from an alternative route out of the area to a secret area to grab power-ups. This is also the first Mario game to let you replay any level after completing it. So now you can go back and explore new paths and find new secrets you missed the first time at your leisure. And there are a ton of secrets in this game. You've got the 4 Switch Palaces that are hidden throughout the world. You might notice these colored square outlines in many levels. Well, if you hit the switch at the Switch Palace, it fills those outlines with boxes. The yellow and the green are the most important because they always have a mushroom and a feather in them respectively. And the blue and the pink ones are just there. Really feels like they should have put something in there. And then there's the Star Road. Hidden throughout Dinosaur Land are 5 stars that warp you to the Star Road. These levels all have hidden exits that connect to one another. In fact, if you complete Star Road at your first opportunity, you can go to Bowser's Castle after fighting only one Koopaling. But that's not the most exciting part of the Star Road. If you find the secret exit on the last level, you gain access to Special Zone, where all the levels sound like phrases uttered in a 90s Capri Sun commercial. These are challenge levels the developers put in the game, but made optional. See Lost levels? This is how you do it. These are some really fun, challenging levels. Except for Tubular. I hate that level. But I do love seeing Mario puff up with the pea bag thing. It's weird. If you complete all of Special Zone, you are rewarded with the world map going from spring to fall, and many of the baddies' appearances have changed. Especially the Koopa Troopers. They went full Hannibal Lecter and are wearing Mario's face. You think that's cute, but the underwear wearing Koopa Troopa is creepy? Super Mario World was built around exploration and experimentation. There's an underlying joy in trying different approaches to levels in this game that many of the old ones didn't have. It's inviting and friendly while still having its fair share of challenges. I don't know if it's just me or what, but I felt way more inclined to search all of the pipes and levels for secrets in Super Mario World than I have in any of its predecessors. And there's an incredible amount of things to find. Secret paths, coin rooms, dragon coins, or this free life puzzle that I'm almost certain cheats. That's not to say everything is rainbows and sunshine here. Super Mario World also takes some darker tones in levels like the new ghost houses. Ghost houses are usually a puzzle level where just finding the exit is the challenge. Doors can take you back to previous parts of the levels, and spooky ghosts are all over the place. And some of them really want to lick you. There's also fortresses, which are usually an obstacle course of level hazards that end in a battle with the Trent Reznors. And of course, there are the castles where the Koopalings are holding the Yoshi eggs hostage. They play a lot like the fortress levels, but with a battle against one of the 7 Koopalings. These fights aren't exactly the highlight of the game. They're all pretty easy, but more varied and interesting than the Mario 3 airship fights with the Koopalings. I do still have big nostalgia for the feeling of platforming through a castle and getting to that big red menacing door. That's how you knew it was go time. And by go time, I mean bopping Larry on the head twice to plop him in the lava. These fights might not be grand, but the cutscenes of Mario getting rid of the castles are some of the earliest examples of Mario being a little goofy. It's no longer a wacky world with Mario just trying to get through the madness. He's part of the wackiness too, and I think that's a nice addition. Side note, Ghost House, Fortress, and Castles are the only levels you can't take a Yoshi into. I have to assume, having watched it eat, that you do not want to be the one cleaning up after it. Leave your Yoshi outside. Please. I wish I could hear the castle theme with the Yoshi bongos added though. At this point, I gotta give Koji Kondo a big shout out for the music in this game. He took one melody and arranged it into nearly every level's theme. And it doesn't get old, it's just that good. Other things that are good. The entrance to the last world is through a ghost ship that is actually a crashed airship from Super Mario Bros. 3. World building, awesome! The way Mario gives the V for victory symbol at the end of every level makes you feel like you accomplished something. And a big component of this playthrough, an excellent 2-player mode. Geese Knees and I played our way through all of Dinosaur Land. And that was fine. If there's a difference in skill level between Mario and Luigi, it can still be fun. Since levels are replayable, a newer player can hang around in Donut Plains and learn the basics, while a more skilled player can play ahead, unlocking more levels. And if there's a level that looks interesting, the player hanging back can walk on over and give it a try. And if one player dies, they can snag some lives off their partner to keep the party going. It's also the first Mario game with a save function. Given it's only accessible after beating certain levels, usually a ghost house, a fortress, or a castle, but you can play this game at your leisure. Playing every level in Super Mario Bros. 3 was such a time commitment, so this, by comparison, is a breath of fresh air. We beat the game in 6 recording sessions and had some great laughs along the way. But at the end of the day, Mario beats Bowser, saves the princess, and despite helping save the day, Geese Sneezes Luigi was nowhere to be seen until the very end of the credits. Come on, Super Mario World. It was a team effort, and we'd appreciate it if you treated us such. Thank you. So that's Super Mario World. Geese Sneeze, you were supposed to keep my nostalgia under control, but I still feel like I gushed about the entire game. And I couldn't agree more. So let's dust off the Mario ranking list here, and obviously put Super Mario World at the top. Where have you been this whole time, fandom? Save all your snark for the end?
Nah, it's just really hard to come up with mean things to say about Super Mario World.
I guess that makes sense. And maybe this trend will continue as we continue through the Mario chronology, because next time, we finally reached that pinnacle of game design. The game that revolutionized how we look at Mario. No, how we look at platforming games as a whole. The crowning achievement of 90s Nintendo, Yoshi's Island.
Why the hell are you doing Yoshi's Island?
Because it says Super Mario World 2 on the cartridge. Them's the rules.
But...
So be sure to tune in next time when Yoshi takes the wheel for a game.
It's not even a real Mario game!
Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads, and be sure to like, share, ring the bell, all the YouTube stuff. And if you're really feeling what we're doing here, be sure to check out our Patreon page for exclusive access to our Discord, swag, and more. Thanks again, and as always, have a good one.